Can you talk about that and if that would have been the right thing for college football or not?
I really can't because I'm not privy to all the information. I did not hear the NCAA at any time say we would go to playoffs. I did not hear the BCS say we would go to playoffs. I think that was speculation. There still may be some leagues that go to 16 teams. That could still change. And I think that the most proud I am for Bill Powers and DeLoss is that they made a decision that was best for Texas, the student athletes at Texas, and for what they felt like the people and our partners in the Big 12. And I feel very, very proud that they stood up and did that. Obviously, there would have been changes in the scope of college football if 16 teams had gotten together. But I'm not sure any of us know whether that would be good. When DeLoss and Bill asked me, I said I would be excited about either. I'd be excited about playing in the Pac, whatever it would be, Pac 16, and our players would be fine with it, and our parents would work it out. I would like to stay in the Big 12 better for the kids and for the recruits and for the parents. So I really think it came out being a win-win. There's more unknowns if we go than there are by staying, because we know what we've got if we've stayed. We've seen the Big Ten. We've seen the conference championship game now for 14 years. We've seen the Pac-10. So we've got a lot of models to learn from here and try to make our conference as viable as any in the country.
You've raised the level of this, the value of this program to unprecedented heights during this whole process. Other schools or fans from other schools were accusing Texas of being a bully in this situation. But weren't you in a position, because of the value of this program, to go create the kind of revenue streams that you just did for Baylor, Iowa State, Kansas, and Kansas State?
I do think that DeLoss and Bill Powers and President Faulkner have put this program in a position to be as good as any athletic program in the country. It may be the best. That would be argued by some, but at least it's in the group, and I'm very, very proud. I told our players and our coaches that we could not lose in these negotiations because everybody wanted our school and our university and their league, and that was very, very important to us. And I was proud that Bill Powers and DeLoss were making this decision. We trusted them without any question, and that we would be fine, regardless of whether we stayed or whether we left. And that I told our kids and coaches to quit worrying about it because we're lucky. We're lucky to be at Texas. We're lucky to have great bosses that understand it and get it. And we knew they would do what was right, and we knew they would do what was best. As far as some people's opinion of Texas, you're always going to have differences of opinion. And that doesn't matter. You have a right to have your own opinion, and I think that's fine. But I felt like that in what I saw and heard, and standing back like you all did, is I thought Bill Powers and DeLoss reached out to partners for 14 years and some of those many more. And I'm really excited that the Thanksgiving Day with A&M will stay because I thought that would have been an awful thing to lose that history for so many Texans. I'm glad that our rivalry with Oklahoma will stay. So I think it's a win-win for us.
I think next year, kind of a bizarre situation. You've got two lame duck teams in Colorado and Nebraska. You guys have all come out saying you don't like conference championships. So here we are in 2010 playing that format still. Is it make next year a unique situation?
I wasn't here at the end of the Big Eight or the Southwest Conference, and I'm sure it's more difficult for if some of your partners are leaving. But you're still going to play, and you're still going to play the best you can play. And I don't think it will demean the championship game any because we're having it. And people like sports. They like competition. They like good teams to play. I'm sure all of that will be discussed as scheduling this year and next year. And we are not privy to any of that information at this time.
Matt, from a recruiting standpoint, one of the things that comes out of this deal is that there's nothing seismic in terms of major changes in the landscape of recruiting inside the state of Texas. Can you talk about just how comfortable that probably would be in the process, that the Pac-10 schools aren't suddenly coming into Texas and nothing happened that would allow the SEC to have a bigger foothold than it currently has?
Yes, I was surprised that our families, especially of the recruits, were sensitive about not being able to see their sons play. And that was a bigger issue than I thought it would be. I thought they might like going to different cities and playing and fun. And to a person, our family said, I'm concerned. I won't get to see my son play as much. And obviously, we like our deal in recruiting Texas right now, and I don't think it will change at all. I think it'll be exactly like it has been, because now families know they can stay in the Big 12 and be seen.
Coach, can you talk about how much you were consulted over the course of the last few days and weeks? And furthermore, was there a time when you felt like you really needed to start thinking along the lines of being in a Pac-16?
Number one, DeLoss and Bill kept me posted throughout the process, and they were very, very good to me from that standpoint. Secondly, I didn't want any input into the negotiations except to be asked as the football coach, how do you think it would affect football if we stay and if we go? And I honestly said I would rather stay, because our players and our student athletes and their parents and recruits want us to stay. And that's who we work for, basically. But if we go, we'll make it work. It'll open up some new recruiting areas for us, and it'll all work either way. So I said, when you get down to the end, obviously you will make the best decision for Texas, not just Texas football. Our vote would be to stay, but we'll be really excited for the challenge if we go. So we're fine either way. And then obviously, what we knew this was coming to a head after the last month, quicker than we would have thought. So we've discussed it as a staff, and we looked at what changes we might make, which are irrelevant now. So I think nothing changes for us, and we move forward.